pivotal moment. The old ways are crumbling, and people everywhere are searching for a new path. Enter the NewEarth Tennessee Micronation, an audacious leap towards freedom, innovation, and holistic living nestled right in America's heartland. America's heartland is more than a location, it's a symbol of resilience and unity. Here we're forging a revolutionary way of life that honors nature and champions true sovereignty. For those ready to break free from the ordinary, welcome to the NewEarth Tennessee Micronation. This is your call to action. Picture this: a life of true freedom, surrounded by nature's splendor and a community of pioneers. NewEarth Tennessee Micronation is where sovereignty, sustainability, and community come alive. Our core features? The Regenesis Health Center, groundbreaking organic agriculture, homes crafted with sacred designs and cutting-edge sustainable technologies. We're redefining self-sufficiency. We're not just building a community, we're honoring ancient wisdom. By integrating indigenous knowledge, we ensure a respectful and holistic approach to our foundation. Introducing Golden Tickets, your exclusive gateway to this transformative community. Only 1,000 tickets grant you a coveted spot among the trailblazers. Golden Ticket holders gain access to the Sovereignty Academy admission and course, expert-led personal journey to sovereignty in America, Canada, and Australia, soon to be expanded. New priority: residents experience a new way life in a harmonious, regenerative, sovereign jurisdiction. Regenesis clinics access exclusive health and life-changing technologies, anti-aging and detoxification therapies. NewEarth Pharmacy products, first in line, access to innovative wellness items. Lazarus Initiative Gold membership, lifetime access, upgrade or gift. Exclusive opportunities: engage in business, tech, and personal ventures within our sovereign framework. Ready to join the revolution? Secure your place in the NewEarth Tennessee Micronation today. Visit NewEarthGoldenTicket.com to purchase your golden ticket and become part of a movement that's reshaping the future.
It occurred to me that the whole world is beginning to turn its back on the United States, and the whole world is beginning this predictive program, of enmatizing the United States of America, because Middle America is the human genome, because you represent the epicenter of the human experiment, the human genome, which is to say the galactic genome. So you take down Middle America, the good people of Middle America, and it's a fait accompli. You've succeeded. The devil succeeds. I saw all of this earlier this year in a succession of quasi-prophetic events that were unfolding around me. And I was possessed again in the way I was 25 years ago. And what I arrived at in my own mind was that I was going to stick a flag in Middle America, and we're going to plant the NewEarth Micronation in the heartland of America. And we're going to do it now. And we're not going to waste any time. We don't need to waste any time. Now is the time. This is the time. Very good, friends. Welcome to this, the second NewEarth Golden Ticket Summit. I hope this room isn't too boomy. I'm stuck in a little conference room in the most exquisite country hotel, nestled midpoint between the Scottish Highlands and England. I'm on my UK tour right now. This was the only place I could get to with half decent internet. So let's hope it carries through this. Today, auspicious for a couple of reasons, not least, he said, because it is the apogee of the conjunction of Mars and Uranus, which brings some pretty interesting, let's say, hyperdimensional elements into the soup that defines this delightful shit show we call reality. So the conjunction of Mars and Uranus is propelling us beyond the familiar. I'm reading this actually from a very brilliant astrologist's musings, where Uranian change collides with Martian demands for decisive action. We find ourselves not merely adrift in chaotic events, that baffle our finite minds. Rather, we have the power to transmute chaos into creation, forging bold new realities from the upheaval. And that, friends, is today. That's what the stellar elements are defining for us. So it's a perfect cauldron. It's a day of great transition in that sense. And very, very happy to be welcoming you from wherever you are around the world into this broadcast. We've done this in answer to a heap of questions which have been flying in connected to the pioneering golden ticket, which we peaked out in a launch 2 weeks ago. I have to say that the moment we peeked out our nose from the undergrowth, we were shadow banned, and we got to about, by my reckoning, 3 to 4% of our constituency through the summit launch broadcast. I've done a lot of launch broadcasts of 5G summits and NewEarth festivals and, you know, cultural events and all sorts of wonderful things. But this one was pretty special to see how it was pretty clear that we are beginning to engender a conversation that is going head to head with the status quo. I don't want to labor the subject too much, and in fact, I've been advised by my team not to, for good reasons, because I don't wish to add to the scaremongering. But I will say this, because this week I've also seen a whole series of deep fake AI videos released on me, trying to thwart the box office of my tour in the United Kingdom and Ireland. So very clever stuff. Within minutes of me putting out a video on social media, it's sucked into supercomputation, transitioned into a CGI deep fake video, and spat back within minutes onto multiple other platforms, claiming to be the official platform and telling people to turn up at other venues and pay for their discounted tickets in this you know, blah blah. So it's that kind of circumvention and pandemonium that we really can begin to expect, I think, all around the world. Don't forget the second point I wanted to raise about the extraordinary and momentous day today is that this is the day after the silver bullet. Okay, the silver bullet, which grazed the earlobe, by best accounts, of one President Donald J. Trump. Well, whether or not that event was an orchestration, whether or not it was staged, whether or not it was planned, is actually immaterial. It's playing out in the field that this was an archetypal event horizon that has been also predictably programmed. Point being, friends, that this is, in a sense, that silver bullet and that streak of red blood was, in a sense, defining the indivisible line and yet the division point between the black and the white on the checkerboard of the kingdom of the devil. To those of you who are conscious, intelligent, alert, alive, and awake to your humanity, you will know exactly what I'm saying. You'll understand the words and the meaning and the intention. The point is, it's on you and me. It's on us, living men and women of the living soil, living sons and daughters of God, to be the ones to define what the new earth horizon, so to speak, looks like. What does it taste like? What does it feel like? So in answer to that, we began many months ago, myself and my team, and I'm going to be introducing you to a number of the core team in a moment, and the core pioneers and creators of this initiative. I'm very honored to have them here, and we'll, in the next hour or so, circumscribe the metric of this golden ticket, which is the world's first attempt, as far as I'm aware, to full spectrum lean into establishing a micronation. Fully titled, allodially titled, tethering the land back to the Genesis land patterns of the indigenous people, i.e. piercing the corporate veil for the first time in 1,500 years. We can do it. We know how to do it. We have the law lords. We have the law commissioners. We have the chief judges. We also have prosecutors. We have a lot of good people connected to our network. To those of you who know about the work we've done in law with the ITNJ, the Judicial Commissions of Inquiry, and the NewEarth University. Speaking of which, we will be launching in October the 1st, the NewEarth Sovereignty Academy, which is conjunct with the Golden Ticket. The Golden Ticket is the clarion call. It's the call to action. It's the one that we've all been waiting on, each of us, whether we know it or not. Some of us have been looking to the sky, imploring Ezekiel's chariot to rescue us from the shit show. Others have been taking the knee and invoking the Pleiadians and the Alpha Centaurians and the Arcturians to come along on their starships and rescue us. Others have been waiting for the white hats to come clambering, leopard crawling over the horizon line to rescue us from Washington, D.C. and the gibbering sock puppet show that's playing out there. We've all variously been waiting on the momentous event. What is that event? What does it look like? What does it feel like? Actually, by my reckoning, by my very expert reckoning, it looks like this conversation, what we're about to have. So pay attention, children, for the next 45 minutes to 1 hour. Meet the Golden Ticket team. This is the New Earth Nation. This is how we forge a nation. This is how we create a free zone. This is how we step out of enslavement, servitude, indentureship to the parent corporation, to the Saturnian logic, to the priest bankers, to the fleecing and the penalizing of a draconian system which no son or daughter of God ever invited into this fair realm. And yet it descended. I'm going to first bring on my producer, Christy. Christy, thanks for being here and for, again, allowing to facilitate the second in our Golden Ticket Summit. Thank you.
Yeah, happy to be here. We have lots of questions to get to when you're ready.
Okay, also want to bring on next Erica. Mama, nice to see you again.
Good morning, everybody. I'm very excited to be here and happy to answer any questions that you have.
And yes, she is a Canadian. She's one of them. somebody who can really speak to the fiction. You know, anyone who is well educated and an intellectual in Canada knows that Canada fairly represents that checkerboard that I was just talking about. Speaking of which, let me also bring on Sky and Anahita, most beloved, and our partners with the Regenesis Clinic, Spa, retreat centers that we're going to be building. The first one will be, actually we're twinning Bacalar Laguna in Mexico and Tennessee. Guys, happy to see you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. We're so excited to be here in this
whereabouts are you guys?
moment.
Where are you?
So we're in the land of the Squamish people. We're in the Pacific Northwest, Turtle Island. Yeah.
Very good, very good, very good. I also want to bring in Luna. Where are you, girl? You're supposed to take your microphone off mute and bid hello. Off, darling. You've still got the mute on. So Luna is not our technical director. Friends, you'll be pleased to know. Okay.
I'm not.
All right, too late. You're gone. I'll bring you back.
Sorry, that's my fault. I muted. You muted me. It wasn't me.
All right, and I want to bring in Alison. Nice to see you, Alison. Hi.
So good to be here.
Thanks, darling. Thank you. And Shell, where is Shell? There she is. Hey, good to see you.
Hi. Hello, everyone.
Thank you for joining us today, Shelley. And finally, a new beloved member of our team, Raven. Raven, thanks for coming today. Hang on, I can't see because there we go. There we go.
Greetings, everyone. It's an honor to be here.
So just so you friends know, Raven is a part of our law team and joined our core administration. She's very, very expert. Again, rather like Marsha, who is on a tour of her own, I understand, right now. So she's not able to join the summit today. But we're going to be doing the next summit we do is going to be focusing. It'll probably be within a fortnight as well. And it'll be focusing on the jurisdictional, the legal, lawful narrative connected to how do we pierce the corporate veil? How do we create a micronation? How do we, as an act of peace, not an act of war, make a proclamation that has to be honored by the Vatican, Washington, District of Columbia, the Crown of England, and the Bank of International Settlements, the IMF, the World Bank, the United Nations, and so on. There is a methodology. There is a metric. It's clear cut. It's understood by those people who understand jurisdiction and true law. And we'll introduce the full team in the next summit and take this conversation into more of the technical arena. Erica, did you want to add? And sorry, that's Alison. I can't see. Let me just put you guys on flat screen. Erica, did you want to speak to anything beyond what I've just said?
No, I know that Marcia is expanding the course to different regions. We've had some questions come in just about, is it applicable in Europe? Is it applicable here? There, and currently it's just Canada, the USA, and Australia, but she is expanding on that for the fall. So it's very exciting.
Very good. So in short thrift, the golden ticket, to those of you who know, is putting out 1,000 golden tickets. And just very briefly, again, just to contextualize, because this can sound very enigmatic to people coming in late to the party, but a golden ticket is what exactly, in your words, Erica?
Well, it's the opportunity to become part of this initial foundational community. So the 1,000 tickets will equate to the opportunity of purchasing 1,000 parcels in Tennessee, becoming part of our membership, our private membership association, and all of the benefits that come with that, which are pretty amazing.
And it's also important, we're not going to stress the point right now, but we're also have established under ecclesiastical privileges as a ministry, so to speak. Raven, I'm going to pull you in to answer to this, so you might want to stabilize your camera before I do that, otherwise it'll look very odd to the audience. But
okay, let me do that. Sorry about that.
Just stabilize your camera and I'll come back to you momentarily.
I'm done. Okay.
Okay, let's just, Luna, unmute your microphone, please. Why have we chosen Tennessee? We touched on this briefly in the last summit, and I know my reasons, but you're our lead scout on the ground, and you've been scouting land for us and getting different areas primed for the prospect. What's your takeaway on Tennessee and why it's so obviously the perfect place to establish the world's first full spectrum micronation?
It most definitely is, Sacha, and thank you for that. I had the pleasure of spending a lot of time in Tennessee, all over that state and that general region. And I can tell you that it was very hard to leave, and I actually like where I live. It is an energy that is profound. One of the components that creates that is the fact that the largest underground lake is in the United States, and probably and very likely in the world, is in Tennessee, hidden in a cave that was only found not too long ago, that also houses crystals within that cave with the water that are only found in 2 places in the world. It butts up to likely the oldest mountain range in the world, with all of the energy of that as well. And it is stunningly beautiful, with 500 waterfalls, lakes and rivers and mountains and butterflies.
Yeah, I mean, I must say, we were there together a few weeks ago on my Catch Me If You Can tour, and we took a detour there and spent a few days precisely in order to touch and feel the soil and the water. And dear God, I think of myself already as being based in Tennessee, but it's living as I do in Bacalar in Mexico, and the reasons I chose that was because of the pristine soil and the pristine air and the pristine light, the pristine water of the Laguna Bacalar on the Mayan Riviera, which is, without any question of doubt, a hyperdimensional molecule. And if you talk about a massive water or underground lake, which would be a sea effectively under America beneath Tennessee, you say it might be the biggest in the world. Well, it'd be certainly butting heads with Altai province and Baikal of Russia, which is a bigger land holding than North America. But wow, it must be something spectacular. And of course, water is everything. We're learning that consistently. Sky and Anahita, your thoughts and feelings on us establishing the world's first full spectrum Regenesis spa clinic concept in Tennessee. Of course, we're building a spa clinic in Bacalar Laguna in the NewEarth Sanctuary in Mexico, but the prospect in Tennessee in the US is really, we're defining that as a very, very big project, much bigger than the one in Mexico, because we see the importance of establishing a world-class training facility in Middle America to get ready to springboard to action to the world and franchise and syndicate these protocols that you guys are pretty legendary in your circles. My circles intersect with yours, and you've had extraordinary successes in walking people out of terminal stages of the big C. In fact, you have, by best accounts, a record of having done so, and you apply very special protocols to walking people who are on their deathbeds completely 180-degree flip in the other direction. That's how we got to meet. That's why I'm in love with you guys. We spent a lot of time together, and we're looking to establish this big Regenesis training facility and clinic spa in Tennessee. Why do you think that that's such a good idea?
Well, I mean, I can't speak too much to Tennessee. I feel like they're being in the heartland of America, as you said, to be able to have this template for what's possible for humanity. Really, if you go back to ancient cultures, every community had a place, a maloka, or a ceremonial space where someone would go to do their healing work, and they knew that healing at the energetic level, the spiritual level, and the physical level were all inextricably connected. So, we're really excited about creating something that is the resurrection of health on the planet. And so I feel like being at the center of America, excuse us, we're outside here. Apologize for the sound.
That's okay. We're hearing you.
Okay. You want to speak to?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Regenesis Retreat Center and the programs and the protocols that are integrated within them are really about giving the body what it needs to heal itself. Our bodies are profound and have such an innate ability to do that, and it's really about tuning in with the body and giving it exactly what it needs to heal, not only at a physical level, but also at an emotional, mental, spiritual level, and bring the body back into full harmony and coherence.
So that's the bit I want to underscore a little bit here, because we've been investigating the leading state-of-the-art frequency and light and sound technologies, even military-grade technologies and beyond military-grade technologies. As I've just witnessed in South Africa 2 weeks ago. I spent 2 weeks there. I'm back there in a couple of weeks' time. In fact, Erica will be flying out to join me. A couple of the team will be coming. And so we're talking about combining state-of-the-art military-grade and beyond military-grade healing technologies. So we're talking, med bed territory, people. Absolute, it exists, it's here and now. And so that combining state-of-the-art technology, frequency, light, and sound technology principally, with the protocols that you guys have defined and perfected over many years, which are to do with releasing ancestral traumas and cleansing the blood song of all of those kind of epigenetic cascades, which by now everyone knows is absolutely real, and that every incarnation is blighted by the cascading of the incoherent blood song, connected to the trauma of our own previous incarnations, and of course the patterns in the blood connected to the traumas of our lineages. You guys have got very special protocols connected to earth medicines, and not just that, supplementary as well, that heal those patterns so that the cancer doesn't reoccur, for instance, or doesn't occur in the first place, because we all know that cancers, and which is a catch-all term for massive incoherence at the biological level. It's all connected. Foundation that is psycho-emotional and psycho-spiritual issues. Speak to that.
Yeah, it's we believe there is no disease. Really, the body is divine and perfect. We have this incredible onslaught of environmental toxins, the weaponization, excuse me, of the biosphere. And Yeah, we really look at it from the very foundational level that when the body is out of coherence, we begin to become toxic. We begin to, and the pathways of the body, what we call the rivers of light, become plugged and blocked, and calcification happens, and that's really the foundation of disease, and that opens the sort of the doorway for these parasitic infections, which really we know the big C is. It's been known since the late 1800s that it was microparasites. So we treat it from that level as an infection, and we purify these waters, the rivers of light within the body, and these are also interconnected with the energetic pathways. When you're speaking about biophotonic energy and these types of frequency technologies, we have been using them, not to the level of these new upgrades that are coming in, but yeah, it works so beautifully in synergy when we work at all the levels of the mind, body, spirit. We deal with the early childhood developmental trauma. We help them to resolve that, and to help the nervous system to have that new information, to be able to come back into coherence and back into a state of harmony. And that's really what we see is the pathway to relieving humanity from all disease. So we do have to kind of take away some of the filters that we've been programmed with around these pathologies, these ideas of disease, and really trust the human body and give it what it needs. So we have very tailored IV nutrients therapies and things like that as well, and we work in a really sort of a very systematic, multi-dimensional, multimodality approach to healing. Right. And it's really exciting to be able to bring it all together in such an incredible way in a center like what we're envisioning for these Regenesis centers. Is really the realization of humanity's science.
Let's quickly touch on the circle of life concept. So we're also incorporating into the Tennessee Golden Ticket. Micronation will be the birthing place of this initiative, which is we're calling the Circle of Life. And this is essentially building extraordinary facilities, which are essentially kind of not spa, but clinical facilities, best in class for facilitating conscious birthing and conscious dying for those people who choose to die. Because as all the longevity experts are now confessing at the conferences and on broadcasts in the last few months, they all know it's true. I've known it's true for a couple of years. Death is, in our generation, a choice. Within 3 to 5 years, certainly if you can keep yourself alive for the next 3 years, you can live for 300 years. We all know that. We all know the sequestered technologies in the basement, microbiological and other technologies, are now being one way or the other unearthed. We ourselves are tapped in. I know that Sky, Anahita, you guys, your team and my team know of two particular. We're not going to go into any conversations here on it, but we know that there are two very advanced science groups in two separate continents that are exercising right now what you would call not just longevity, but immortality technologies, staving off death and being able to spin the biological decline into the recursive and reverse aging. I mean, it's a subject which academic science is going to be poo-pooing and lambasting us and throwing rocks at us. Of course, they're going to do that. They've always done that. Anything that's new that comes out, but we know about these scientific modalities and technologies that are being exercised right now as special trials and what have you. So how exciting is that to doctors and nurses like yourself, Anahita?
Yeah, it's very exciting, Sacha. We're seeing this regenesis of life, and these technologies have been here for forever. They're reemerging, and I feel like we're just at this incredibly important moment where it's like the kind of the head of the snake has been cut off, let's say, and I believe now is the time that this can come to the world. That's why we're seeing it. Like you said, these technologies, these life extension technologies, reversing aging, we're seeing that happen now. Age being reversed by 20-30 years biologically. It's an incredible time to be alive. And we believe that it's why we really look at it from the spiritual level first, the really the subtlest energetic level, is because we need to have that awakening. We can reverse aging on the planet, but what if we don't have that awakening, we don't have that remembrance of who we truly are and that connection to our purpose, our passion. It's what's it for? So we really look at that being a crucial part of this whole process, is to give people this reconnection to the part that has been systematically shut down. It's this connection to the prefrontal cortex, this connection to the God brain, where we see all of these superpowers that these children have, that can read and write blindfolded, and masters that can light things on fire with their hands with the chi prana. These are all things that are happening. They've been suppressed, but as we connect back to those parts, we actually connect back to who we truly are, the superpowers that we truly are. And so we do feel that the ceremonial aspect, the spiritual dimension of this process is so important. So yeah, we always go back to that too.
Thank you. Beautiful. And indeed, so just to underscore, the Regenesis Spa Clinic a concept that we are developing now and will be building out in Tennessee as an international exemplar, and also in Mexico at the Baca La Laguna NewEarth Sanctuary, are a perfect conjunction of state-of-the-art technology and medicine, earth medicine, meaning ceremonial work, and then of course supplementary stuff and best-in-class medical practices as well. I mean, there are certain things in the allopathic domain that are good and decent and righteous, and will be incorporated as well. So bottom line is, we will unveil this and the full plans. I think in the next summit, we'll be in a position to unveil the plan. If it's not the one in 2 weeks, it'll certainly be the one in a month from now. I just want to quickly also welcome, where is she? There she is. Michelle, you were also on the ground in Tennessee. I mean, you know that part of the world. You're very expert in development. You're part of our developmental team. You're a hell of a firebrand. I mean, I've got to say, when I jumped off the stage in Ohio a few weeks back, or a few months back, it must have been 3 months ago, 2 or 3 months ago, and where you and I first really connected, and you said, I'm going to be on the ground with you in the executive team, and we're going to make it happen. And I didn't even know what it was. So I was, even 3 months ago, we hadn't fully defined the project, but you seem to know, you seem to seize that instinct. How exciting is it, the prospect of us now establishing and building this pure sovereignty and consciousness in action flag right in the heartland of Middle America for 1,000 mothers and fathers and founding pioneers of the Golden Ticket?
It's exhilarating. It makes sure, you get the spine tingling excitement being on the ground here, and being able to feel it in your soul and in your feet, and knowing what we're getting ready to do for humanity is immense. It's immense. Really.
It is. It's very, very exciting indeed. I don't get too much sleep, I have to say. I also wanted to say a quick hi to Raven here. There she got a stable camera. Nice to see you, Raven. Thank you so much for joining us today at short notice. And Marsha was unable to speak to some of the more abstract stuff, the law stuff. We're not going to actually go into much of that today, but in the event that some of the questions that we're about to turn to now arise, you might well be able to answer them better than Erica, myself, or any of the other team, because you're one of our great law experts and you understand these very subtle areas of focus. But thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Very good. Christy, you have the floor. I think I have sufficiently introduced the wonderful Genius crew here. So you have the floor as it relates to raising the questions from our audience.
Yeah, you guys have already actually answered several of them. So I'm just going down the list here. Tapan had some questions about spiritual practice, and if the NewEarth Micronation will have a specific spiritual practice or spectrum of practices that are accentuated.
I didn't even get the question. I'm so sorry.
Well, they're asking if there will be some sort of specific spiritual practice or
Oh,
spectrum of practices in Tennessee?
okay. Well, that's a very loaded question. The short answer has to be in equal measure yes and no. And what I mean by that is that the New Earth initiative, the New Earth project, the New Earth Nation is not and does not proselytize a spiritual practice per se. Outside, I think my colleagues here would all agree with me, pure truth and right action. That is the living gospel, and that is the practice, the dharma. Stay in truth, walk in a straight line. But then all good humans and sons and daughters of God subscribe to that. The business of disciplines and practice becomes something which is very obviously very peculiar to the individual. What we've done to answer that calling is establish or begun the master planning for the Temple for Unity Consciousness. Now, I'll pull up in a short while a video. I just need to go and access it on my files to show what that's going to look like. But the idea that humans congregate and come together, not to take the knee and worship the demiurge dressed up as a god, one god or another, that's a danger. And that's also the line in the sand that we define now as being wrong action. It is not about taking the knee. It is not about worshiping. It is not about, it is now about standing in grace. And it's about standing under central sun, casting no shadow by your conduct, by your right action, by your capacity to remain in the flame of pure truth. And really, that's the only way that the new human, the angelic, the resurrection of the angelic human can take place, when that living principle is codified in each of us individually and then collectively. So it's a loaded question to speak about. Is there going to be a worshipful practice, a devotional practice per se? The short answer is yes at the individual level and no at the collective level. I don't know how else to answer it, but any of the team here, please wade in with your feedback on that question.
Nope. I'll speak here for a moment, Sacha, just because I come from the heartland. I come from the hills of Kentucky, right there next to Tennessee, and the Bible Belt, as we call it, right? And with a degree in biblical studies, I drank all of the Kool-Aid with all of the cult programming for so long. And what you have brought to us and brought to the public and to the public realm, and what we're anchoring in through the micronation, is this idea of true individual sovereignty, actual sovereignty that's embodied, that's living out on the land with all of the legal things that as Americans, we've always dreamt about and wanted to live fully, right? And so having that legal procedure there to go through with the Sovereignty Academy. But then if we're talking about spiritual practices, the same amount of freedom exists there as well, with this right action, this highest level of integrity that we can possibly bring in with this, like you say, standing under with no shadow. It's really beautiful. So yeah, with the micronation, I don't see.
Sorry, darling, Carrie. I'm trying to pull up that video of the Temple of Unity Consciousness whilst you were speaking, but I didn't know that it had sound on it. Hold on, I'm just going to mute this, play the video whilst you're speaking. Continue speaking about the subject.
Perfect. Yes. So I wouldn't foresee the New Earth Micronation saying, yes, you guys are going to practice this way spiritually. That is not what we stand for. We stand for purity of truth in the heart and soul of each individual, and then contributing collectively as we gather, however that organically manifests, right?
Very good. Very good. I love that. And this, what we're looking at, friends, is the master plan for the Temple for Unity Consciousness and the water structurizing technology built into it. You understand, 500 people in Tokyo prayed or sent blessings of love to the municipal water supply and restructured the water of Tokyo. I will show you microscopy images of the before and after. 500 people can change the structure of a municipal water supply by simply beaming a positive intention into it. And it's forensically evidenced. And you talk about the distinction between dead water, unstructured, dead, incoherent water, which is a contaminant and a poison, and structurized water, which heals. And it goes back to the time of King Solomon. King Solomon, contrary to popular belief, was not the great sage, savior, and arbiter of jurisprudence that you might like to think. He was also the first ruler to put water into cisterns. People don't know this about Solomon. The first ruler to put water into cisterns and thereby kill the water and feed water through the cistern to the population. That was actually, that was the downgrading of humanity at the level of consciousness, and that was the inception point of the parasite being given the permission or the demiurge to come in and to rob us from our Edenic privilege. Extraordinary story that just connected to structurized water.
Amazing.
Christy, that's your cue for any further questions.
Okay, so a question for Erica, a couple, just asking what's the best source to refer to so that they can know how to interpret the various goings on at NewEarth Micronation?
So at the bottom of our homepage on the website, there is an area where you can subscribe to a newsletter. And if you put your email in there, we will be publishing a newsletter. Not immediately right now, but in the coming months, monthly. So that will be external, as well as we'll have a newsletter and communication that is internal to the Private Members Association as well.
Okay, another question from Michael asking if you have the property identified, can they come and walk it?
I dare say we don't have it identified. We've identified a few spots, and we're going to make our determinations in the next few short weeks. Now, I'm intended to be on the ground myself in September into October in Tennessee, and I'm hoping that at that time we will make that determination. But again, it depends on the ebb and the flow of the golden ticket procurement. So people coming in, we've already sold many, and it will depend. We'll make our decision in a few weeks' time. I would like that decision to be made by the end of September, to be sure. I think I haven't consulted all the team here to get a consensus, but it's my sense that within 6 to 8 weeks from now, we would be in the position to go, okay, that's the one, and we drop the fund down, the trust fund down, make the procurement of the land, because there are other things at play here. As I mentioned momentarily in the introduction, we're also cleansing the federal liens off the soil. These liens, they're not just federal. We're talking about Vatican liens. We're talking about going back 500 years, 1,000 years, and beyond. Marsha, who heads our law team, traces it back to 451 AD. I believe that's the correct, it's either 451 or 461 AD. But cleansing the land, bleaching the soil from all encumbrances, and energetic and going back to ancient treaties and compacts that have contaminated the soil, that has to be completely rid. And that's the process that each piece of land that we're looking at now, we also have to do those investigations to be able to see, okay, how readily can we do the cleansing on this land? We more or less look to spending 2 to 3 months in that process, which is why I said, all things being equal, by end of September, October, we hope to have identified the prime land, drop the monies down into the soil, immediately begin the bleaching of the land in time for by the grace of God, spring of next year, when we would like to make the proclamation, it will be the perfect time. It will be the perfect time to do it. I hope that that goes some way to answering that question.
Okay, someone asking, there are some very detailed questions, and I feel like we are compiling all these into the FAQs that will be on the website later this week. So if we haven't gotten to your specific question, just know that there will be a place to be getting all that information. So Diane asking that she would like to know why your passion for this particular project was ignited within you as it was 25 years ago. What's the story behind this passion? What were the quasi-synchronistic events that fanned this flame? And why Middle America? Like, is it really, what makes you think it's the epicenter of the human galactic gene?
Okay, it's not about thinking, it's about observation. So it's not what I think or what I sense, or feel, it's what I know to be thus. So you have to understand it from this, in a sense, galactic perspective. This Earth plane, let's not call it a globe, so we don't want to piss off the flat earthers. And I don't want to piss off the donut earthers either, or the concave earthers for that matter. The fact of the matter is, and I've been alluding to this on my tour in the United Kingdom, as well as my recent US tour, on every stage, I was speaking to the fact that years ago, I commissioned a study on the law of the four different versions of reality, this flat Earth, round Earth. And we discovered that the same advanced mathematical modeling applied perfectly to all the models, proved all the models out. So it depends on what you think, or what you ideate, what you imagine, what you dream is what manifests. So we know that we live in a quantum hologram in that sense. So it's not really what I think, it's what I know. America is the cauldron of the human experiment, the human condition. It is the cauldron of it. It's all faiths, all cultures, all strains of genealogy. All of humanity is distilled into the American genome in that sense. Now, that's not necessarily a very positive thing, given that the overarching majority of Americans, no disrespect, are ranging between overweight and obese. But that's connected to endemic poisoning by the parent corporation of Middle America, precisely because Middle America is the galactic genome and represents all of humanity. So if they can fuck with the genome of the Middle American and mutate it through something called linguistic wave genetics, it creates a morphogenetic flaming and corrupts and perpetrates incoherence, or dominoes or cascades incoherence into everyone in Middle America. That's how it works. It's like a virus, an energetic virus. And so that's been going on. Middle America has been poisoned, contaminated by design, by the McDonald's and the Coca-Cola franchises, by the high street, by the toothpaste, by the fluoride in the waters. And of course, the agrochemical industry is doing everything that they can under statutory compliance to poison the soil, the air, and the water. So given that cacophony of the symphony of the devil through synthetic molecules playing out in Middle America, that's why I'm saying Tennessee is Middle America in that sense, but it's also for different reasons that we've selected Tennessee. They are more amenable to this kind of project. There's going to be a lot less flack and resistance from the so-called local municipal authority. They are already freed up from a lot of the statutory bondage of all of the other states of America in terms of planning, permissions, and zoning and building, licensing, things like that. Really important consideration for a project like this. And they just banned geoengineering. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. That means that we have a proper progressive, in the correct way of progressive, not woke progressive, but humane progressive local governance. That's really good news. That's why Tennessee, and why Middle America, because Middle America is the emergent rainbow warrior tribe. And that goes back also to the work that Anahita and Sky, myself, are doing with a hereditary leader, Chief Phil Lane Jr., the eagle and the condor and the hummingbird, the quetzal, the First Nation peoples, the importance of bringing them into this melee and having them, in a sense, become the guiding hand for how we consecrate the soil. Once we've bought the land, we're looking between 600 acres and 1,000 acres will be perfect for what we're doing. And we should have that within a couple of months, and then cleanse the land and then consecrate it with ceremony, proper ceremony that absolves the ancestral traumas in the blood song of the 740 plus First Nation peoples of the Americas who have been butchered and holocausted almost into extinction, culturally speaking. So that's why America, that's why Tennessee. I really hope that answers the question.
Yes, thank you. I think I'm going to defer to Erica for some of the more detailed membership questions that came in, and she can just maybe rapid fire get through some of those, Erica.
Sure, sounds great. Thank you so much. And I'm just seeing a message here from Stephanie in the chat about a beautiful project that's aligned in the micro community. So please do reach out to the sales at thegoldenticket.com. You can fill out that contact form. But yes, so, and that goes for all other communities that are in alignment and that are interested in this type of technology, the structure, the New Earth Nation, everything. So I'll just jump into this document that Christy has here. We have a question from Denise Bingham. She's wondering if she passes away before she moves to Tennessee, could her ticket be passed to a friend or family member? Yes, absolutely. You know, if you wish to formalize something like in a will or a directive or in a trust or something like that, absolutely that can pass to anyone, friends, family, or loved ones. We have another ticket, another question from Diane Lanterman. Oh, sorry, it's below that. Is a single membership for an individual or a family, couple with children, elderly, disabled adults, or is it just for one person? So the membership can be, you know, like if you have a family unit, that is who would be moving into the sanctuary. So only one ticket is required. The private membership agreement, we can have one for each adult, but the membership itself is just attached to one person. So whether that includes a couple or a family, you know, or if you're considering bringing your, you know, older parents or something like that along with you, that's fine. Please explain how membership relates to residing within the micronation, plan timelines, residency options, and related details. The membership directly relates to the residing in the micronation. We will only have 1,000 residents, whether that looks like parcels of land, homes. You know, Sacha has built some beautiful designs for eco condominiums for the Mexico project. So there's many options that will be considered inside of the development for residents. And I know there's a question somewhere in here also about rentals, or is it only for homes? There'll be a variable designs, beautiful variations in size, in ecosystems that will integrate. We've also done this in Mexico where people are able to choose which design they like the best, adapt it with our architectural team inside the community to, you know, their requirements or needs. And then it's our team inside the sanctuary that will build that for people. And that's specifically because of the technology that's integrating into the designs, the systems, the material is very specific. And so that will be the same for the Tennessee project, although we are open to having people participate in the build, in the design of the, customization of their specific homes as well. The next question is, what kind of assistance is needed and how can someone engage, member or non-member, to help meet such a need? At this time, we're focusing mainly on bringing people into the community, acquiring the land. But if you do want to participate and you do have a specific skill set, please do email via the contact sheet on the website and just articulate that information. Luna is going through every single email and she will create a database of people with specific skills that are interested in participating as well. Another quick question. Anybody who's interested, it says, we're living in Mexico and would love to know how to find more information about the project in Mexico. So please also reach out to Luna. She can be contacted at contact@thegoldenticket.com, and she's happy to share the information with you there. And the last question, I'll just power through. Can the membership of $10,000 be applied to the residential payment later to purchase a parcel? And is purchasing a parcel, they're completely separate? The membership, the $10,000 is actually for the membership and all of the membership benefits that come along with that. We are stating that when land is available to choose, you are able to credit as a deposit that $10,000 cost of the membership towards your purchase. So yeah, I'll stop there.
That's good. I've also got some other ones I've been just glancing at here, but there's way more than I could possibly get to. In the first instance, Mitch Gold, you can stop trolling. Your tone is not in honor, it's not gracious or kind. So if you don't change your tone, you'll be booted off. But I will honor you by putting one of your questions here. Ask Sacha why he's not talking about Earthstock and the UN Office of the Future. Well, the answer is Sacha doesn't have a faintest fucking idea what you're talking about, nor do I care. So come back and ask a question in grace, and maybe I'll look into it and be able to answer that more comprehensively to you. As for raising aspersions about Chief Phil Lane and his connection to the UN, take it up with Chief Phil Lane. Let me put something on the table for you, Mitch. I'm a citizen diplomat, 25-year veteran. I've operated at an intergovernmental level, mostly behind the curtain, for over 20 years. I began in 1999. I do a 4-hour lecture right now showing hundreds of photographs of me with kings and presidents and all that other wankfest nonsense that I don't normally put out in the public domain. I do on my tours just to qualify the fact that some of us do have real expertise at a policy and understanding the shit show and understanding how the globalist agenda is working and having the same concerns that you are expressing in quite a reductive way with your trolling questions. But the United Nations is the devil's kingdom, be sure about that. However, it is incumbent on people like hereditary leader, Chief Phil Lane, to attend meetings if called upon to do so. How the hell else does he get to meet people who are trying to derail the indigenous elders and the First Nation peoples? They are all connected to collectives, intergovernmental organizations, IGOs, NGOs, non-governmental organizations, and initiatives that are variously being spawned within the globalists' playground. That's the way it works. So if you want to change this world, you've got the courage and you can claw your way out from underneath from your damp basement. You might actually make your way to the Citadel and get into the UN, get into these places to try to change them from the inside. So I tried and failed in that regard. But please don't throw rocks at Phil Lane Jr. because he's having certain meetings with certain groups. He's required to do so as a hereditary leader. But you're right that it is a very compromising landscape out there, and not a fun one as well for people who are trying to do God's work on that as I said, the kingdom of the devil's checkerboard, not fun at all. I want to answer a couple of other questions raised here. Another reductive, a pejorative, and frankly somewhat stupid question. No disrespect, Melanie, but honestly, there are ways and ways of asking questions, and this New Earth project is not for the faint of heart, and it's not for the stupid, and it's not for pejorative people. So just reconsider the question. Then if you aren't rich, you can't join, question mark. Come on, there's another way of asking that question, which is, if I have no money, how might I be welcomed into the fold? I mean, there's 1,000 ways you could couch the question in grace and in honor. So I'll do it for you. No, it's not just about money. Obviously, we cannot buy the land and build a micronation if we can't afford to buy the soil, put the administration teams, law teams, finance the trusts and make sure it actually happens, and then build the infrastructure. So 1 + 1 actually equals 2 in the real world. But outside of that, ask a polite and a gracious question. More than that, go and study what we've already set into motion with the New Earth Project, the New Earth Initiative, the New Earth Nation, the New Earth Haven, the New Earth Sanctuary, and see that we do welcome people in to our 0-point economy and social ecology. But right now, the focus is 1,000 golden tickets available to 1,000 householders in America principally, who wish to join us in this incredible crusade, become the founding pioneers, mothers and fathers of this sacred soil, and then be able to retool, repurpose, reorient their lives into the 0-point economy that we create for the world at large. So if you can't do anything other, then I suggest just pray for our successes and send your blessings our way. Other question here, I think Erica touches on a bit to the question you already just spoke to, which is, if a family, how do we proceed with the golden ticket, love and gratitude? Can you just speak to that again?
Sure, yeah. One person, whether it's I don't know, the grandparents or the mother or the father, whoever, just one person needs to choose to purchase a golden ticket, assuming that you're all going to be living together. If you want to have several pieces of land, have your family come in and participate around you, my sister over there, my brother over there, my cousin over here, then I suggest to buy more than one ticket. We can sort of customize the private membership association details as far as, 2 people in a family, 2 adults in a family, or grandparents or something like that. But as far as the membership purchases go, it's sort of directly connected to the number of parcels that you wish to have.
And how much does the ticket cost is the other question from Melanie.
Yeah, it's $10,000 US. That's membership level 1. We've left membership level 2 open to above $100,000 because we really want to take the time and meet each and every one of you that are interested in partnering at a higher level. So expanding into the initial ecosystem of the micronation. There will be restaurants, artisanal markets, businesses that are inward looking and outward looking. And we need to establish who the people are that are interested in participating that way, what levels of expertise they have, what their personal interests are, and then actually we have the freedom, which is absolutely beautiful, to create something unique. As far as what that looks like with each person. I also just wanted to comment, because there's a lot of questions in here about how much is the land, how big is the land going to be. We can't comment on that right now, but I can tell you how things have unfolded in Mexico, which has been very organic and it's working. So obviously we're going to phase the project development, and initially there'll be fractionalization, for lack of a better term. We have total freedom to decide how we want to allocate these pieces of land, whether they're we do have the ability to provide claim of the patent to each individual ticket holder, and to design a beautiful community with unique shapes of parcels, not just squares in a line. So in Mexico, we've taken some really talented architects alongside with Sacha's input and design and come up with beautiful conceptual plans for parcels, for water features, for gardens, for amenities, for all of these different things. And we've taken input from the community as well as to what's important for them and integrated that into the plan. So all of you as ticket holders, will be able to choose where, how, what that looks like, and to provide input as far as your unique for home.
So I've done it again there, Erica. Whilst you're talking, I'm just showing images of the Mexico prospect. Carry on.
Perfect. No, that's perfect. I just wanted to comment because it's impossible for us at this point to share pricing. We haven't even purchased the land yet. So, but that will all evolve over time. In Mexico, we also created a portal, an inward-looking platform where we share communication every day. There's updates, there's meetings, there's drawings published, designs published, and it's a very inward-looking platform. And so essentially we'll be doing the same thing here with this membership group and sharing information about the technology, how that's integrated. Oops, sorry, my phone's ringing.
I wanted to also bring Luna in just to talk about communications, and I did share both emails. I shared the contact at NewEarthGoldenTicket.com, and then for investing in business opportunities, it's sales at NewEarthGoldenTicket.com. And just depending on the security setup of each individual email, sometimes those emails are going to go directly to spam. So although it should be going into inbox, it kind of depends on everyone's individual email situation. So Luna, do you want to speak more to that? You can unmute.
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you to everyone who has already reached out on our website email and sent me messages. There's several hundred of you I've had the pleasure of communicating with. And if you want more information, please send another message. I also have a direct link where you can make an appointment with me or one of our team to talk directly to us if you want more in-depth conversation, which I can send you when you send me an email. I have had a number of emails bounce back for some reason, so please be careful when you are.
Luna, I'm sorry to jump in, but your microphone is really cocked up. It sounds terrible. Is there anything you can do? It sounds like a frog speaking.
Oh dear.
Pull your earphones out, maybe if you've got them in. I don't know.
No, this is just my computer. Is that any better?
No, it sounds like you're speaking through a kitchen toaster.
Oh, bizarre. All right. I will send the information to Christy and have her convey it.
Thank you, Luna. Much appreciated. Christy, any other questions that you want to field coming through in real time?
Yeah, let me take a look. I also wanted to see if Erica, if you had anything else to add, or were you?
I do. Actually, we've had also some more questions come in about payment, and I'm happy to report that we do have confirmed like wire transfer information, check mailing information, and it's just sort of the next phase of a payment has been realized, which is great. So if people are interested in paying on the website, they can do that via PayPal. They can pay via Bitcoin for their tickets. They can pay via wire transfer, checks, everything, cash deposit to a specific account. And once you've signed your private membership agreement with Luna, contacting her, then we'll be sending that information out to each individual.
Very good. Thank you, Christy.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up this question. I know some people get confused between we're showing some of the videos from Mexico and then limited from Tennessee because we said we're acquiring the actual land. So I think maybe they're confused between the palm trees they see But yes, it's
I'll speak to that because that's one of my great passions, and I am an architect, and I am the master architect behind the various prospects that we've got with the NewEarth projects in Indonesia and in Mexico, and now progressing to Tennessee. A short answer is yes, Shannon. I will never cut a tree down personally that you can avoid cutting down. So you really want to build everything around the trees, and certainly we've done that even with the NewEarth Sanctuary project master planning. The scouts went in and literally identified every single tree that was thicker than this was identified and mapped, and then all of the master planning is done around the trees to facilitate the trees. Obviously, you have to take down a lot of the thicket, a lot of the jungle, a lot of the vine, a lot of that stuff, but you don't bring down the mature trees. You just don't do that. And that's cardinal rule in NewEarth. It's 101.
okay. We've pretty much been rapidly going through all of them. So if Erica, if you don't have anything to add, I mean, some people were asking if it would be available someday soon in Europe, if you want to speak to that.
Who's that question to?
About expanding to Europe. That could be you or Erica.
Well, I'll speak to I mean, I'm here at the moment in the United Kingdom, and on the tour trail, of course, I'm meeting people who are variously wanting to offer land, wanting us to establish the NewEarth metric here. My short answer is no, not at this time. The draconian aspect of the Crown and the Satanic European Union, which are priest bankers involved in a compartmentalized sense. Elements within are deeply invested in blood cult, in sacrifice of innocence, in all sorts of bestial practices. It sounds outlandish, but that's what it is. Christy, you might remove this comment now. It's no longer relevant. So be clear, I do not wish to be tangling with that element in Europe. Europe is responsible for the issue of the blood holocaust against the rainbow tribe, against the black skin, brown skin, red skin, yellow skin people of the world. That happened through the crowns of Belgium, Holland, Portugal, Spain, England, France, and Germania, principally. So we still have, and that was essentially 500 odd years ago, but we in Europe have got to reckon with that and absolve that crime of ages, the papal doctrines of discovery, when our kingdoms fell victim to the Saturnian Roman Catholic Church, and then went forth and conquested the world under the banner of the Pope in the name of God, and holocausted the natives and the Aboriginals. So that blood holocaust is still, as I said earlier, echoing as a cascade in the blood. It's why we have diseases. It's why we have cancers. It's why we have trauma. It's why we have the trial of separation as a perpetual cycle, because we've not absolved or redeemed those epochal events. Why then would we seek to come and establish the NewEarth metric in the heartland of the Netherlands, for instance, or France, or Germany, or England? It doesn't really make sense. America, it makes sense. Mexico, it makes sense. There are many places in the world where it makes a lot of sense, but there has to be an atonement and an absolution amongst the principal whiteskins before that kind of magic that we're bringing forth with the micronation could actually anchor to the soil here. In America, there are sufficient conscious, loving Adamites, good humans tethered to the soil. And I'm talking about veterans. I'm talking about farmers. I'm talking about patriots. I'm talking about people who wield guns, Bibles, and pitchforks. My people, the real humans who are the line in the sand between this earth and Washington, D.C. good people who know that good humans are the line in the sand. And that in America, they've already proven that they're there. I went to go and see that with the Arise Resurrection Tour 2021, 2022, 2023. I've spent much of the last 3 years in America with my own ear to the pulse there. So I know Middle America is right and ready, and the atonement's already happened there in that sense. There has to be more of an awakening, and for sure that's underway. But I hope that answers the question.
Okay, I just wanted to go through what specifically Luna wanted to get across, just to make sure that anyone who has tried to reach out, that sometimes those emails are bouncing if they have the wrong address. So just to make sure and try possibly a different email. And when you do email, send your phone number also so that they can reach out for a direct consultation. And you can reach her at Luna, Luna, at NewEarthGoldenTicket.com or through the website.
Thank you for that. So a couple of other very interesting questions just came in, which I really think are worthy of answering to. Oh, balls, where did I put them? One moment. Yes, they just added. There we go. So one of them is, will the Tennessee property have a new tech for internet or be Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi is notoriously unhealthy for the body. Well, you are looking at the man who made the film 5G Apocalypse, the extinction event, and I'm well aware of that, and have been so for many, many long years, and preaching that to the world. Short answer is yes, we are looking at modalities of being uncoupled from the Skynet, and we do have a modality. I'm not at liberty to speak about it right now. I did go to Eastern Europe a few weeks ago, just before Southern Africa, about 5-6 weeks ago. I was there in Eastern Europe, and I did sit with a group, and I was fascinated to learn that they do have a decentralized honeycomb cellular capability technology. It's extraordinary, and I'm looking forward to meeting with the inventor, progenitor of that group, of that technology shortly. But that's just one of a number of decentralized so-called cellular technology networks that exist, that we could indeed create our own. We can also create a plasma bubble over the sanctuary, so to speak, using very advanced particle physics, plasma physics. The group that we're working with in Southern Africa, in my view, the world's most advanced new physics and technology anywhere, that I just spent time with. And if you sit through the Golden Summit film that's coming up shortly, toward the very end of it, and you can scroll to the end of it if you're watching the retroactive broadcast here, you will see the technology in Southern Africa that I'm talking about. So this group are able to create plasma protections. They're able to broadcast nutrients toward a desert and infuse dead soil with nutrients and the isotope frequencies of high-level trace minerals and vitamins and so on, and then grow food forests in a desert by broadcasting information at dead soil. So resurrecting dead soil in that sense, catalyzing and triggering the mycelium and so on. This technology is with us, and we're able to expound on it, create protections so that the harmful electromagnetic frequencies, which is really what your question speaks to, can be completely steel curtained from intruding on the living systems in the parameter of the New Earth Sanctuary or the micronation. So that's absolute science. Another question here, would it be only for vegetarians? The short answer is no. This is a sovereign world, and there are many people who disagree with eating things with faces, and I have a tendency to agree with that mode. But I also know that nature is a damn sight more cruel to nature than humans are to nature. If ever you've been in the wild and seen a leopard eating a warthog's face while the warthog is alive, you'll know that nature has a tendency to be incredibly cruel. So, there are ways and ways of animal husbandry and what have you, and I'm not going to get into the judgmentalism of eating creatures right now, just to say that when we are expounding raw, unfiltered sovereignty, you have to respect the fact that Eskimos eat seals. Okay, you have to. and they have their own language and their own connection. The Native Americans, the Cherokees and Navajo and Lakota, they ate animals. The difference is that there was a sacrament involved where they would intentionally key in with the animal that they had in the crosshairs of their bow and arrow. They would plasma project to that creature, and they would, in that sense, tether themselves to it, ask permissions, and then release the arrow, boom. And the animal would invariably stand still and give itself up. Ocean harvest. It's well known to the shaman that ocean harvest and elements in this world offer themselves up in that sense as food stuff. So it's a deep question, but I think it's an important one, and I just did want to touch on it briefly. I would invite any of the team here, because I've been wheezing for a long time, to also speak to that, because we have different sensibilities here. Sky and Anahita, I know that I can see the smile on your faces. You definitely have a perspective. No,
I don't know if we can do it any justice. You've said it so beautifully. I mean, yeah. Anahita and I are both mostly vegan. We do imbibe a little bit of salmon now and again. Again, we connect with the spirit. Yeah, do our best to be in right relation with all life. So yeah, I think, like as you said, it's about that connection, that connecting with the spirit and being caretakers, really. I mean, like you said, the indigenous people, they were stewarding the lands. They steward, there was millions and millions of buffalo, and that was their livelihood, and so there was a real deep connection. So yeah, I mean, I guess I don't choose to eat them, just yeah.
Well, Sky, I happen to know that you're a liar, because I was with you for 3 weeks and you didn't eat a single thing. Literally, you didn't put anything in your mouth. You drank water and you didn't eat for weeks. And I thought that you were going to die, because I thought that that's what happened to the human biology when you don't eat anything for weeks. So speak a little bit about your own shamanic practice of occasionally stopping all foods altogether and yet functioning for 18 hours a day. What's going on there?
Well, breatharian is it's a practice that's been around for thousands of years as well. And there's, I think, what I heard last was more than 100,000 breatharians on the planet right now. They don't eat food. They get their food from the nectar of life, from the source energy, connected the same way that the plants get it, through grounding and through breath and through sunlight in the eyes, through connection. Through being in the heart. The heart generates a lot of light, a lot of energy when we connect from that place. And so it's a practice. I haven't gone that long, but I do pretty long periods of time. I like to have coconut water. I find that's the nectar of the gods. It's this perfect ecosystem, completely blocked off from any geoengineering. It's the most beautiful nectar. It has all of the electrolytes, all the minerals. You can live on it. It has amazing fats. So yeah, I mean,
that's enough. That's enough, because you just what about the donuts? What about the donuts?
I ended up having French fries last night, and I paid for it.
As far as I'm concerned, there is going to be a cheese factory. There is going to be a dairy and a cheese factory, but there's a way of doing it. And, whilst we're on the subject of the shamanic connection to animals, to food, to imbibing and ingesting things, it occurred to me to also just momentarily mention the Maasai. They follow the cattle. So they don't even pasture their cattle. They simply follow them. Cattle are allowed to roam free, and they determine where the Maasai tribes and warriors move. They will literally, and if there's a fence in front of the cows and the cows want to go straight, the Maasai will pull the fence down and the cows will walk. So the Maasai are, have been very unpopular in Tanzania and Kenya, because of the fact that they will not be stopped by fences or by perimeters. If their cow wants to go in that direction, that means the cow is following the song lines, and you have to honor the cow. But the point being, they don't kill the cows. They bleed them. They drink the milk and the blood together, and they're incredibly fierce warrior type people. So there's ways and ways of ingesting, those foods without necessarily killing. I mean, also some people wait for the animals to die. I mean, I don't want to get into it here, but it is a long and I believe a worthy subject of the New Earth. So I don't dismiss the question that came through, because it is my contention, and I'm not a vegetarian, but it's my contention that ultimately humanity are required to dial ourselves collectively into a higher octave of expression as it relates to taking any life whatsoever. But that's a conversation for another day. Christy, I know we're somewhat overrun the time here. Can I just invite any of the team here, Shell, Alison, Erica, I'm not sure if Raven's still with us, Luna, and anyone wish to speak to anything else before we segue into the 1 hour and 30-minute, more or less, film of the Golden Ticket Summit for people who have been waiting patiently for the last hour and a half.
Can I speak to one quick thing, Sacha? And this is a little bit more esoteric, but I think it might hopefully target into some of the questions that have come through, or not some of the comments that have come through. Let's put it that way. We are not here to save anybody. We all save ourselves. This is an invitation to the living men and women of the soil, as you put it, Sacha, to raise the hand and say, I'm ready to exit myself and my family and to save myself, so to speak. There's sometimes an element or a frequency that comes through where it's like, oh my God, this is my savior team. And have we put the first foot forward, and have you certainly over the past several decades put the first foot forward? Absolutely, because we know the magnitude of what we are doing. And yet it's an invitation to say to everyone, we are the masters of our own ships, and we are coming together collectively to do this in a way that supports one another. I hope that kind of gets the point across of what I'm trying to speak to.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. I appreciate those words. I'm so sorry to do this, guys, but I've just seen another question and I love it. Very quickly. How are the property and school taxes and transportation, and will it be handicapped accessible? Well, look, let's just touch on quickly the property and school taxes. No, there won't be a taxation thing. There will be a consensus and amongst the Golden Ticket owners. There'll be an assembly and there will be a council, and we'll be establishing that duly in the course of the next few weeks. And how's that self-determination, auto-governance structure going to work? There are ways it can work, which are very keyed into a kind of voting system where everyone has an app and is able to actually cast a vote on every subject, from the minutiae to the macro. There's also a technology which we have connected to Professor Florian Kolchiag's universal genome algorithm, which we are also advancing within the NewEarth University and with our tech partners in Romania. That universal genome, to those of you who watch the Lazarus Symposium, know that if we apply the universal genome to a human being, and I've worn the helmet that did the readings of my brain, threw up in 8 minutes onto a screen all of my habits, all of my tendencies, all of my bad character, good character, my nature, my personality, my addictions, everything was exposed to a conference room filled with scientists and military guys when I wore that helmet. So that was a pretty famous segment on the Lazarus Symposium last year, I think it was. Maybe it was the year before. Christy, you can remind me. But the point I'm making is this. That was Professor Florian Kolchiag's algorithm at work, reading Sacha Stone and saying, Sacha is equipped for this stuff in life, but not equipped for that. I did come through with fairly good colors, I will say, in my own defense. But what it means is that in the days ahead, we can take that universal genome mathematical algorithm, we can apply supercomputation to it, and we can literally have every denizen or citizen, every resident of the sanctuary walking over the threshold into the sanctuary can have a reading, a soul reading. Anyone coming in to become a counselor in the assembly could be subjected to the scrutiny of that supercomputation, which will basically say, well, we've read your soul, the frequency of your soul, we've read the character, the personality, and the nature of you, and we have found you wanting. So no, you will not be a counselor or a policeman or a teacher or whatever, because it cannot lie. It's an algorithm that communicates with the Akashic field, and it's irreproachable. It's extraordinarily exciting where this takes us, because it also means in one generation or even sooner, it'll wipe out all corruption from government, from policing, from the technocracy. So exciting. And we intend to be the first nation that deploys the universal genome into our auto-determining self-governance protocol. So pretty exciting stuff. And I needed to just bring that piece in. So, Shelley, anything you'd like to say in closing?
Not really. You've covered everything, and it was just beautiful from the beginning. Everybody, get ready.
Thanks, Shell. Thank you, Alison, for your beautiful words of wisdom there. Luna, any sign-off from you?
Can you guys hear me okay, or is it still weird?
Still sound like a bullfrog.
Okay.
Why don't you croak us your blessing? Thanks, Shell. Okay, that's Luna there. Erica, last words from you.
I just wanted to share that fun fact about the project in Bacalar is that of the entire phase 1 of the project, only 3 trees need to be not removed, but
transplanted,
relocated. Yeah, in the entire master plan, because we did with the designers and architects and planners plan around the trees, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, we done good there. Thank you, Erica, for that. Beautiful. Raven, if you're still with us, welcome to bid us adieu. But I think Raven has possibly signed.
Thank you. Yes, I had to run to the bank to take care of some issues, fires.
For us. Thank
yes.
you. Thank you.
And I'm still putting fires out, but thank you for having me on. And I'm always available for any questions related to the trusts.
Beautiful. Thanks so much, Raven. Really appreciate you so much in our midst.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Okay. And Sky, Anahita, a sign off from you.
Yeah, we just, so happy to be here on this call with everyone. And Sacha, we just want to thank you for just bearing all that you bear and holding this profoundly beautiful vision and being a leader in this. And it's just such an honor, such a privilege to be a part of this with everyone. And so grateful that humanity has this opportunity to just step into a new paradigm of existence. And it's a vision that we've, for many years have seen, in our own visions, and it's here, it's real in this present moment. And so we're just so excited. And of course, if anybody has any questions for us, please feel free to reach out if you want to learn more about Regenesis specifically. And just look forward to hearing from folks.
Thanks, Anahita. Well, I tell you that we're going to be together. Sky, you and I will be together, and Erica, and a couple of other team members will be together in South Africa in about, what are we now? We're the 15th, so it'll be it'll be just over 2 weeks from now. So I rather suspect, Erica, whilst we're in the Cape in Southern Africa, and we're all together with our medical health science MedBed innovation group that we're going to be spending time with, I suggest that we do the next summit from there. And we'll be speaking up again the health science technology side, the agriculture side, and the law and jurisdictional side of this a NewEarth Micronation in Tennessee, the golden ticket. So that's pretty much it from me and from the rest of the crew. Christy, I'm going to peel off and let you trigger the rest of it. I'll just drop people from the studio into the green room, and then you've got the console to yourself.
Okay, just wanted to remind everybody to go to the website. I posted it, newearthgoldenticket.com, and that the FAQs will be up there by the end of the week. We're still compiling.
Beautiful. Thanks. Thank you, friends, for joining us. We've been over an hour and a half. It was supposed to be 1 hour. But please stay tuned. We're about to play the original Golden Summit, which goes into the detail somewhat further, and enjoy the graphics. Thank you.
at a pivotal moment. The old ways are crumbling, and people everywhere are searching for a new path. Enter the NewEarth Tennessee Micronation, an audacious leap towards freedom, innovation, and holistic living nestled right in America's heartland. America's heartland is more than a location, it's a symbol of resilience and unity. Here we're forging a revolutionary way of life that honors nature and champions true sovereignty. For those ready to break free from the ordinary, welcome to the NewEarth Tennessee Micronation. This is your call to action. Picture this: a life of true freedom, surrounded by nature's splendor and a community of pioneers. NewEarth Tennessee Micronation is where sovereignty, sustainability, and community come alive. Our core features? The Regenesis Health Center, groundbreaking organic agriculture, homes crafted with sacred designs and cutting-edge sustainable technologies. We're redefining self-sufficiency. We're not just building a community, we're honoring ancient wisdom. By integrating indigenous knowledge, we ensure a respectful and holistic approach to our foundation. Introducing Golden Tickets, your exclusive gateway to this transformative community. Only 1,000 tickets grant you a coveted spot among the trailblazers. Golden ticket holders gain access to the Sovereignty Academy admission and course, expert-led personal journey to sovereignty in America, Canada, and Australia, soon to be expanded. New priority: residents experience a new way of life in a harmonious, regenerative, sovereign jurisdiction. Regenesis clinics access exclusive health and life-changing technologies, anti-aging and detoxification therapies. NewEarth Pharmacy products, first in line, access to innovative wellness items. Lazarus Initiative Gold membership, lifetime access, upgrade or gift. Exclusive opportunities: engage in business, tech, and personal ventures within our sovereign framework. Ready to join the revolution? Secure your place in the NewEarth Tennessee Micronation today. Visit NewEarthGoldenTicket.com to purchase your golden ticket and become part of a movement that's reshaping the future.
It occurred to me that the whole world is beginning to turn its back on the United States, and the whole world is beginning this predictive program, okay, of enmatizing the United States of America, because Middle America is the human genome. Because you represent looking one illustrated collector's man and tradition. Very good. Well, thanks for joining us, Ali, and for hanging out in the green room with us to give us some uplinger.
And it's
a necessary. It's in right that there are many engineers important side of our NewEarth University, but that nations are beautiful.
That in such a way established you are
about in a dirty word. You're not allowed mentioned.
This is really the self-discovery we've talked about, and then I've talked about self-mastery. Now, how once we've discovered ourselves, how do we master that and take it out into the world? And then how are we competent in this? This is not a collapse, it's a transition.
Yeah,
it is an expression of our souls coming fully into fruition.
Beautiful, beautifully stated. Marsha, thank you so very much, and we'll see you on the next summit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, friends, I'm going to bring on a closing segment here, and we've got just over 15 minutes. Sky and Anahita.
Brother.
So, guys, we've been working together for the last few months, and we've spent weeks together, actually, in Mexico and we went to the Zone of Silence together. Yes. And we spent some time at our Bacalar headquarters in Mexico on the banks of the Laguna there, which you guys are going to be actually moving to. We're establishing the first Regenesis, turnkey Regenesis Spark presence is going to be hardwired now into the Bacalar NewEarth Sanctuary project. But we're also going to be mirroring that in Tennessee. Now, in Tennessee, we're talking about, in a sense, a bigger facility because we need to create an international training headquarters for the Regenesis Spa Clinic Retreat Center concept, the brand that we're launching. Let me just say to the audience, the reason why I fell in love with these two is because of one, the Shiva Shakti, Christic and Magdalene energy that they so obviously and palpably and sickeningly manifest. I mean, look at them. They're just too perfect. You know, it's like perfect, that energetic. But in the flesh, it's an enchantment to be in their presence. And I'm given to flowery language at the best of times, but I can tell you that the frequency that these two are conjoined by is so serendipitous and so holy and sacred. And I'm sure it's fractious from time to time. I'm sure you both throw tomatoes at each other, but that's not the point. The point is that you strike this poise. And I'm not surprised that I was hearing long before I met you that you guys had this extraordinary renown in dealing with, I'm going to choose my words carefully, in your clinic in Canada, in dealing with stage 4 turbo cancers. Now, I heard it from third parties that you have a 100% success rate in dealing with stage 4 turbo cancers and any condition, actually, because all cancers, all diseases are the same disease. There is only one disease, incoherence, when we're out of phase with the divine, the MNN template. You guys have such an incredible superdimensional grasp of and hyperdimensional grasp of the physics of healing, the physics of treating, healing, and curing. Now, you're not allowed to use those words. The C word is a dirty word. You thought it was cunt. It's not. It's cure, friends. That's the dirty word. You're not allowed to use it, okay? And that's because of your friendly government. And your friendly government only exists because of your taxes. Don't ever forget that. You're manifesting that creature. Sky and Anahita twinned and now gone into partnership, ventureship with me and with the New Earth Project. And we've been working for the last few months on an exquisite brand called Regenesis Spa Clinic Retreat Centers. What are they? Anahita, you go first. What exactly is the critical vision that we're manifesting?
Yeah, so I mean, Regenesis is really about, you know, if we start right at the beginning, you know, Regenesis is about returning to harmony with our truest, most authentic selves. You know, when we look at even the term Genesis, in the Bible, it refers to our divine connection to the sacred. Regenesis means to rebirth. It means renewal. And so Regenesis represents the rise of the phoenix from the ashes. As an analogy, it's the birthing of a new paradigm of health sovereignty, healing, and the resurrection of our original angelic template, as you speak to so eloquently.
So I don't know if I can trigger this PDF file from here. I think I can. So this is just a very, very brief kind of overview, exploring the interconnection between nature, health, and the New Earth movement. Are you guys hearing me okay?
Yep.
Yes.
Great. And thank you for putting this beautiful presentation together and dovetailing it into the branding. Again, we're excited because we're going to be building the first big New Earth Regenesis center and facility and training facility, moreover, which will become the international hub and flashpoint. And we're going to be folding into these Regenesis centers the very, very best technologies in the world, which we have access to and which we are variously partnered in. The most advanced microbiology in the world. We will have our sovereign jurisdiction where we will be able to manufacture our own New Earth pharmacy products inside our own jurisdiction. Right now, we're having to navigate around the FDA and all of that nonsense, so we don't do any marketing or publicizing of our spike protein and weaponized E. coli formulas and the other formulas we're now developing, HIV, AIDS, malaria, and so on. But in any event, New Earth Regenesis, the Regenesis Spa Clinic is really center ground of the Tennessee Project because reclamation of our DNA, mRNA, and our health sovereignty is integral to our survival as a species, and moreover, to how we dial into the next great expression in our evolutionary upgrade. Sky, speak a little to that, please.
Yeah, well, you know, as I was saying before, we're really at this time of a rebirth, this global awakening. You know, the ancients call it Pachacuti, this the Kalki Yuga, the Golden Age. You know, we're really this new light is birthing over the horizon, and there's this awakening going on. And there's been this onslaught, this sort of attack on the human. You know, through air, water, and our food and our medicine, to really disconnect us from the sacred, disconnect us from that the sovereign right of health and wellness, and having access to whatever therapies that we should have access to. That you know, and so we now are finding ourselves looking for solutions. Everybody's you know, online knows somebody that's dealing with these deep pathologies, and that's really what happened to us as we started to see and having clients come to us with advanced cancers and you know various different types of advancing ailments that they didn't know what to do with. And so we really put on our thinking cap. We went and researched, and we really found that all pathology is from a lack of flow of the river of light, this energetic pathway, the cellular pathways of the body, the pranic pathways of the body, to get that energy up into our prefrontal cortex, into the God brain, and really awaken these cities. You know, these things are keeping us into these sort of lower shadow aspects of humanity, but we really have access through this process to the cities, to our truest, most awakened selves. And so this process is really we call it the Regenesis process, and it's really about an awakening. It's about giving people a very clear step-by-step process, integrating these ancient practices with these cutting-edge technologies to revolutionize and really simplify what this process really is.
So by ancient traditional modalities, you're talking about earth medicines, what have you, ceremonial work. Speak about that piece a little bit more, and about how you don't just use state-of-the-art military-grade technology. And I'm going to go into that in a moment. It's why I was just in South Africa. I just got off a plane, 24 hours ago, and I'm going to show a sneak peek of what I experienced there. And if anyone disbelieves in med beds, they exist. And by the grace of God, I was taken to this facility. I've witnessed some of the technology that we are now partnering with to bring into the Regenesis clinic and into the NewEarth Micronation in Texas, and to help syndicate and franchise this technology this technology revolution to the world. But coupling breakthrough military grade, state-of-the-art hardware technology, frequency, light, sound technologies with my best-in-class microbiology, best-in-class nutritional food supplementary modalities. Also, you guys have a central column, or one of the three legs of the stool for you guys is the ceremonial work and dealing with ancestral trauma, so to speak. Just riff on that for a moment.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, we both have quite a strong connection to many, medicine lineages, including the Quiero. And, in those teachings, the traditional people of the Andes Mountains, they talk about how dis-ease has its roots in the subtle imprints in the energetic field of the body. And so, of course, having that understanding of health and healing, we know that we need to work with those energetic, emotional, mental imprints as well as the physical. And so, so of course, in our temple, which is one of the pieces of Regenesis, the sacred sanctuary where we bring ancient shamanic wisdom traditions and modern transformative therapies to converge to create profound healing experiences. And this includes, yoga and meditation practices, includes breath and sound journeys, relational somatic therapy, psychedelic assisted therapy, sacred plant medicine ceremonies to support people in transmuting dense energies and accessing those multidimensional states of consciousness
resolving, deep-rooted trauma imprints, to, of course, access that spiral into one's sacred heart.
I want you guys to see, it's a 3-minute piece video. I need to collect it now and bring it up to the fore. And it's a little bit enigmatic, but it just touches on Professor X and his science team that I just spent 10 days with in Southern Africa, that blew my white African brain, literally blew my brain. I'd heard about this tech. I meet a lot of wacky scientists and innovators, and I've got behind a few of them in the past, and it's turned out rather badly, despite their academic prowess. This guy is next level. And I got on a plane and I went to Africa because I had the opportunity to go to the laboratory. And I want to play you guys here the short film of what, and again, I'm only allowed to show you a sneak peek. I can't show you the advanced tech, the plasma chambers and stuff like that. That's later. That's maybe in a few weeks, a couple of months from now, possibly. But I can show you what is today eliminating stage 4 terminal diagnoses, what is eviscerating, melting tumors, and eradicating disease, entropy at the biological level. Doesn't matter what the condition is. It literally phases it out. And I managed to get into this particular technology. This is the one I'm allowed to show you. Okay, so stand by. I'm going to try to, there we go, present video file. Stand by, guys. I'm half blind. There we go. Stand by. This was somewhere in Africa, behind razor wire and electric fences. The most incredible facility. Cheetahs there. Look at the cheetah. 24-hour security. Beautiful place, despite the high security. Stunningly beautiful. Look at this. Look at this. Just majestic. We've thrown a filter on the film for good reason. And then in the same facility, in the heart of Africa, this kind of 007 setup with engineers and mathematicians and scientists and electrochemists and financiers and smart, good humans doing incredible work around this man who you're about to meet. Talk about med beds.
Oh, med beds. Yeah, I always say when people ask me about med beds and is this a med bed? And I always say, I don't actually know what a med bed is. People are making claims, and when I listen to the claims, it still sounds like surgery.
Guys, this man is tipping into his late 50s, and he looks like he's 28 or 29, maybe 30 in the flesh. He's a remarkable man.
It still sounds like a scanning modality, still sounds like surgery is done, but just very specialized surgery. And then, of course, regrowing of things is possible, but it's always a combination of things. In our case, we don't do that. The body has every mechanism already built into it to regenerate anything. So all we do is we give it the mechanism, the tool, we translate it from where it stands right now into the language of nature. And as soon as it understands that, it brings balance. As soon as the stasis comes, it goes back to the organism that has genetic memory. And that genetic memory itself is something that is read. And as soon as you understand the language and you can read it, it regenerates.
What are we looking at here?
Okay, so basically these can program anything. What we do is we take sound and then we convert the sound into fields. And you can see here, there are amplifiers. These are normal audio amplifiers.
Yep.
Over there. The mixer, the software. And then it goes out. And then when it goes into the chamber.
Can you film?
Yeah, when it goes into the chamber, it divides. So we have 3 channels going to that side and 3 channels to this side. If I open it up, some boxes there. You will see antennas on this side. There are 3 antennas here, 3 antennas on that side. And then what happens is, I'll open that one as well, I'll show you.
Wow.
And they spiral inwards.
This is me, yours truly, in one of the applications. And this is very fast spinning laser lights being projected through geometric polymers that are very unique geometry that you might find on the exoskeleton of dragonflies and bumblebees.
Professor, I'll be back in a few weeks from now and look forward to the next chapter. Thank you so very much.
Okay, my pleasure.